And now for a Next News special report.
In a stunning turn of events, the very foundation of the Trump prosecution is being rocked to its core as GOP Representative Matt Gaetz and Thomas Massie take on Attorney General Merrick Garland in a heated showdown. Explosive questions are being raised about the legality and motives behind the case against the former president. So brace yourselves for a special report that'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. You won't believe where the story goes next. And just like how Representative Gaetz and Massie are fiercely confronting Attorney General Garland to expose the truth, we at the Next News Network have been relentlessly fighting to keep the flame of truth alive. But now we face our own boss battle against the forces trying to silence us. With YouTube demonetizing us and alternative platforms like Rumble turning us away, we need your support now more than ever to continue our mission. Will you be the hero in our story? Go to the links below to donate and help us keep bringing you the unfiltered truth that the mainstream media refuses to touch. Now, the revelations coming out of the House Judiciary Committee are nothing short of groundbreaking. Yesterday, in a move that sent shockwaves through the legal community, Representative Thomas Massie directly challenged the legitimacy of Jack Smith's special counsel office. He submitted a bombshell amicus brief by former Attorney General Edwin Meese, arguing that Smith's appointment violates the Constitution's Appointments Clause. Watch this.
I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record an amicus brief by the former Attorney General Edwin Meese.
Without objection.
The question presented is whether private citizen Jack Smith lacks authority to represent the United States. I also ask unanimous consent to submit for the record an article titled, "Was it legal to appoint Jack Smith in the first place?" This is a Heritage publication.
Without objection.
I want to start by reading you the appointment clause of the Constitution. Article 2, Section 2, Clause 6 states, "The President shall nominate and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States, whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law." Are U.S. attorneys nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate according to this Appointments Clause?
They are appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate.
Wouldn't you agree that U.S. attorneys are held to the Appointments Clause because they are delegated some part of the sovereign power of the United States, such as the ability to make indictments and charge individuals with crimes?
I would say that those are not the reasons why, and a court has already ruled on the question of whether special counsels are subject to the Appointments Clause in the Mueller case, and ruled that they were not.
Was Jack Smith nominated by President Biden or confirmed by the U.S. Senate?
Look, you're asking me about a case, again, motions filed as just
This
cited
is a simple question.
No, I'm not.
Was Jack Smith nominated by President Biden?
No, he was not.
Was he confirmed by the Senate?
No, he was not.
When was the special counsel statute passed?
There is no special counsel statute. There was an independent counsel statute that was expired.
So it expired. So what gives you the authority to appoint a special counsel? You've created an office in the U.S. government that does not exist without authorization from Congress.
Boom, and there is the kill shot, my friends. And Massie didn't stop there. He also introduced, as you saw, the Heritage Foundation article titled, "Was it legal to appoint Jack Smith in the first place?" which further calls into question the very foundation of the Trump prosecution. And in a stunning development, mere hours later, Judge Cannon agreed to allow this constitutional question to be debated in court. This could be a game changer, folks, but that's not all. Representative Matt Gaetz came out swinging, grilling Attorney General Merrick Garland over the glaring conflicts of interest surrounding Judge Merchan and the Biden DOJ official Matthew Coangelo. Gaetz zeroed in on Coangelo's suspicious move from a senior DOJ position to DA Alvin Bragg's office, alleging it was a calculated effort to get Trump. Watch.
Recognized for 5 minutes.
Attorney General, you've told us that it's a dangerous conspiracy theory to allege that the Department of Justice is communicating with these state and local prosecutions against Trump. You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fonnie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. I get that.
State.
The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own
The question is whether
decisions.
you communicate with them, not whether you control them. Do you communicate with them, and will you provide those
If you
communications?
make a request, we'll refer it to our Office of Legislative Affairs.
But see, here's the thing.
They
You
will
come in here
respond
and you
appropriately.
lodge this attack that it's a conspiracy theory, that there is coordinated lawfare against Trump. And then when we say, fine, just give us the documents, give us the correspondence, and then if it's a conspiracy theory, that will be evident. But when you say, well, we'll take your request, and then we'll sort of work it through the DOJ's accommodation process, then you're actually advancing the very dangerous conspiracy theory that you're concerned about. Now, you were a judge, once nominated the highest court in our country. When you were a judge, I'm just curious, did you ever make political donations to partisan candidates?
No.
No, and you didn't, because that would create the potential appearance of impropriety.
I didn't, because there's a federal rule barring federal judges from making contributions.
Right, but under that same theory of attacks on the judicial process, like, shouldn't someone be owed like a jury of their peers and a judge that's non-biased, rather than getting a judge from your political opponent's donor file?
I'm well aware that you're not asking a hypothetical. You're asking me to comment on a jury verdict in another jurisdiction which has to be respected. I won't comment on it. That case is still ongoing. The defendant
Mr. Attorney General,
indicated-
I hadn't asked you about the verdict yet. We were getting there. I was talking about the judge. And so let me ask you this question about your time as a judge. Was there ever a time when you were a judge when you had a family member who was personally profiting off of the notoriety of a case that was before your court?
I'm going to say again, it's very clear you're asking me to comment on a case in another jurisdiction.
No, wait, hold on, Mr. Attorney General. Did you ever have a family member profit off of the notoriety of any case that you sat over?
Say again, you're asking
Yes or no?
me, you're asking me to comment on a case currently.
Well, it seems you're
before
connecting the
another
dots,
court.
Mr. Attorney General. I'm just asking you as to a general principle, but you are aware that Judge Merchan's daughter was profiting off of this prosecution. You are aware that that creates the appearance of impropriety. You know the very reason there's a federal rule against judges giving donations is because it is the very attack on the judicial process that we're concerned about.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with anything you just said, but I'm not going to comment on an
Okay,
on an
so you
action
won't
in
comment on
another
it, Mr.
court.
Attorney General, but you had no problem dispatching Matthew Colangelo. Who's Matthew Colangelo?
That is false. I did not dispatch Matthew Colangelo.
Matthew
That's
Colangelo,
false.
Matthew
False.
Colangelo became the Assistant Attorney General at the very beginning of the Biden administration. Without having been Senate confirmed, goes and gets this senior role at the DOJ, and then after, I believe it's Gupta replaces Colangelo, Colangelo makes this remarkable downstream career journey from the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., and then pops up in Alvin Bragg's office to go get Trump. And you're saying that's just a career choice that was made that has nothing to do with the lawfare coordinated by the
Saying it's false. I did not dispatch Mr. Colangelo anywhere.
Well, do you know how he ended up there?
I assume he applied for a job there and got the job.
But see,
Yeah, right. Now, Garland clearly looked uncomfortable as Gaetz pressed him on the issues. Despite Garland's denials, the facts speak for themselves. Judge Merchan's own daughter profited handsomely off her father's case against Trump to the tune of, ready for this, $93 million raised for Democrats. And Colangelo's sudden career shift from the Biden DOJ to Bragg's team reeks of political motivation. Now, these revelations paint a disturbing picture of a justice system being weaponized clearly for political gain. The Trump prosecution is looking more and more like a coordinated hit job by partisans who will stop at nothing to take down the former president and the 2024 frontrunner. But thanks to the fearless Republicans like Gaetz and Massie, the truth is coming to light. The curtain's being pulled back on the corruption, and the American people are finally getting a glimpse of the nefarious forces at work behind the scenes. We're witnessing a pivotal moment, my friends, in American history, one that could determine the fate of our republic for generations to come. Will we allow corrupt political operatives to subvert our justice system and destroy their opponents with impunity? Or will we stand up, like Gaetz and Massie, and demand accountability, transparency, and equal justice under the law? The stakes couldn't be higher. The Trump prosecution isn't just about one man. It is about the very soul of our nation. It's about whether we are a country ruled by law or by the whims of the politically powerful. As the battle rages in the courts and in Congress, one thing is clear: the American people deserve the truth. They deserve to know the full extent of the corruption and the bias that has infected our justice system, and they deserve representatives who will stop at nothing to expose and root it out. So as we watch this incredible story unfold, let us remember what is at stake. Let us support those brave voices speaking truth to power, and let us never stop fighting for the principles of justice, equality, and liberty that make America the greatest nation on earth. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. Folks, what we're witnessing here could be the silver bullet that takes down the entire Trump prosecution. Between Massie's brilliant questioning exposing the potentially unconstitutional appointment of Jack Smith and Gaetz's relentless grilling of Garland over the blatant conflicts of interest, the very foundation of this entire case is crumbling. With Judge Cannon now allowing Massie's argument to be presented in court, we may be on the verge of a bombshell that blows this whole corrupt scheme wide open. My friends, this is history in the making.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.